All right, I'm going to give you guys a choice to select your questions between leadership or relationship. It's your choice. So who is the first victim or the volunteer? These are very simple questions. Leadership or relationship?
Relationship.
From 1 to 9. 2. What are the key factors for positive relationship?
Key factors of a positive relationship. Fellow Toastmasters, whenever you're starting a new relationship, there's one critical thing you must remember. Establish your dominance right away. If they have any indication that they're going to stand up to you, squash them. You got to be the boss. This works so well in my marriage. My wife obeys everything I say. She cooks, she cleans, she even picks out my clothes. I think I've mentioned that before. And she does all of this because she knows I'm the boss. And if you believe any of this, you're crazy. My wife and I are pretty equal. She is very supportive, and I am very supportive. She lets me go out and do my social butterfly things, and I don't pressure her to go with me. So it works out really well. She's a homebody, I'm not. So I guess the real key to a relationship is finding that balance where you're both fulfilled without being overbearing to the other.
Who's your second one? Here. I'll go next. What do you pick, leadership or relationship?
No, leadership.
Leadership?
Yes.
1 to 8. 8. How do you get others to accept your ideas as a leader?
Oh, great. How do I get to accept others' ideas as a leader? I have to show them the value that what I'm offering is something that is going to be beneficial to them. One premise that I learned in a leadership course was the win-win policy. In order for us to accomplish something, you have to get something in exchange that is going to be valuable for them. So to buy in the ideas, you have to find what is the one thing they want from you. In order to get the help that you need to find out how can you leverage that help with your skills. And of course, building the relationship with them. I know I say no relationships, but relationships are important in the workplace. You become friends, you make sure you have a genuine interest in that person, and that you can work together towards a common goal. So those are the ways that I will get that.
Who's our third volunteer?
Oh, sorry, 4?
Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5 on how good you are at building relationships and how or why.
How good am I at building relationships? I would like to say I'm a 1, pretty bad, because it's something that I'm constantly working on. So the way I rate myself is a way to, I would say, to stay a little bit humble and not feel that I already know everything. I try to learn things about communication, like joining Toastmasters. I want to make people feel that they know me better, they can understand me better, even though there's a lot of things that I know I already have figured out. I'm not sure if that makes sense. I'm a disorganized person, and I don't have any problem with that. But I know that people have a problem with that. So I try to make other people perceive that I'm not that disorganized. When people look at my desktop, they give them that. Some people just get dizzy. So I try to make my desktop, and I try to clean the workplace once in a while, even though I don't need to clean it. I would want to be a 5 one day, but I know none of us will ever be a 5 if we rate from 1 to 5. And I will encourage all of you to continue to remind yourself that there's a goal that you will never reach, and have fun trying to reach it.
Well, we have a lot of time today. So either you come or I'll pick one of you.
How about guests?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, do we have guests?
Ah, yeah, Nora! Way to go, friend.
What would you like to take?
Relationship.
Okay, what number?
Three.
Can you have a working relationship with someone whom you don't trust?
Well, there's starting points to every relationship, but I believe that you can have a relationship, but you have to work on building that trust. So there's a starting point, and there's improvements that you can make as you go along. And you don't necessarily have to pour your heart out into that relationship, right? You can take it one step at a time. The more activities you do together, the more response you see from that person, the more support you see from that person, then you can kick it up a notch. And then from there, take it to the next level. Then again, there's the relationships that you have complete trust in them, and then they do something to damage that trust. And so it's sort of like a restarting point where you can start the process again and give them another chance. But because it is a person that you work with, you have to make sure that you constantly work at it, because it's a person that you're going to do different projects with, that you're going to see day to day, and it's not somebody that you want to turn your back on. So you can't really lose them, but you got to continue that process and then take it to where you feel comfortable.
Number one, describe the most important relationship in your life.
Describe the most important relationship in my life. I would say it's husband and wife. Why? Because we are the best friends, we are partners, and he's my hero. Otherwise, I wouldn't marry him. If you wonder whether that's true, I can tell you it's not true all the time. There are always sometimes I really want to squeeze him and throw him right away from the window. And I believe that everyone has that moment with your partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband and wife, right? But during the relationship, I learned two important things. First, how to look at myself with more objective lens. Before I married, I was, the treasure in the eyes of my parents. I was everything, center of the world. After I married, I learned I do have something I can improve. I can improve to talk nicer. I can improve not to always push through my opinion, make compromise. I learned how to be a softer person. And the second thing I learned is we have to work together as a partner in order to have a very healthy family relationship and to make ourselves a better role model in front of our kids. We always prioritize our relation over the relation between us and our kids. We have day night, and we always tell them that your dad and mom need some personal time so that we can relax, because we think we are more important than we as a parents to the kids. With that, I feel that that's the most important relationship in my life. Thank you.
Relationship, the last one.
What are the key differences between relationships at work and outside work?
Key differences between relationships at work and those outside of work. Well, it depends on how you approach things. So there are many times you are forced into a situation you don't want to be in, with a relationship with a coworker that you really don't get along with, and so you have to kind of learn to manage that, keep them at arm's distance, or to set the boundary with the person, or the way I used to do it was just avoid it or get angry at it. Set up that wall that I don't want to deal with. I've learned that you can get more, get better results with honey than with vinegar, right? So that's one way that, so there are times that in the past where you have to diffuse the situation and deal with that person. The people outside of work have a little more flexibility. You have a little more, you don't always have to interact with them. You can set the boundaries. You always need to set healthy boundaries. That's one of the lessons I've had to learn in my life. I had very unhealthy boundaries, very codependent, and there are a lot of skills I've had to learn dealing with people at work and in personal life that have dovetailed very well. Anyway, that's all I have. Thank you.
Relationships. What makes you feel valued in relationship?
So, when it comes to relationship, the most important relationship is with my parents and me. The most valued I feel when they give me more preference in everything. Like, I have a sister, so my sister used to feel very valued, like me, they used to value me because I used to live in US and she used to be in India. So whenever I used to call them, they used to give me preference and take my call. And she was like, why are you always calling? Why is she always calling? Why are you always talking with her? Why don't you give me the time? Now it's like little bit opposite. Now because my sister has come here for studies, now my parents live with me, so now they're waiting for her phone call. So when I go home, they guys are like, okay, shall we call her? And whenever they call her, and she's like, just if it is an emergency, then call me and talk with me. Otherwise, no. But now they value her more. So yeah. The most important for me is value of my parents.
concept, though. So there was leadership and relationship. Relationship.
Number
Oh, what's left?
6.
Okay, that sounds good.
What do you like about the people you work with?
What do I like about the people I work with? One of them right here. I think what I like most about the people I work with is their different, diverse backgrounds. A lot of them are outside of the United States, so I get to learn their cultures. Bratislava, Panama. I get to IM them and ask them what they're doing for the weekend. I get to learn their cultures. I get to go out and do stuff physically with people here that we went out to lunch last week. Had some barbecue for lunch, which was a really good time. I get to listen to their stories and backgrounds about their kids, what's important to them, their schooling. I think what I like most about my coworkers is just kind of understanding where I fit in this whole big scheme of things, the world we live in. What's important to me, what's important to them. I can kind of balance it out. I think some of the other cultures, they value family more, and I really appreciate that. I'm pretty family oriented. So we have a lot of commonalities. I think what was really cool recently is the World Cup games. Having an ex-boss that was from Colombia, he sat us down in a meeting room during lunch, I think you might remember, and I've watched the fans in the stands were and this is what he valued, and I watched the fans in the stands, and they're all sports fans, and I figured out, you know what, we have a lot in common. You know, I mean, we like to drink beer, we like to watch sports, we like to cheer on our team and have a good time. Because at the end of the day, you know, we've got a beginning and an end in our lives, and hopefully you can, you know, kind of find some commonalities with your friends and enjoy doing stuff with them, like at the baseball game last week. So that's what I like most. Thank you.